Pump it up.
All right, guys, what's up? Welcome back to Two in the Zone. You have Dead Press Picks, and you have myself, Analytics Capper. Dead Press, it's been a few days, Thanksgiving week, so we're gonna do a special episode today on a Tuesday. We usually record this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but we're gonna do Tuesday and most likely tomorrow as well. Dead, how are you doing?
Good, brother. Happy to be back. We said, we missed out yesterday with everyone, so we're super excited to do a little special episode today for sure.
Yes, just want to make sure everybody understands our sponsor is Seven Stack Sports. One of the best, if not the best, Twitter book there is. They offer minus 105 lines in both the NBA and NFL the entire season. They do same day payouts if you're working with cryptocurrency, 24/7 customer service. They just reached 2,000 customers, so they're running like this huge $2,000 giveaway, Dead. And honestly, we know the guy, we know the owner. He's a really good dude, and we've been working with him for a while now. So props to Seven Stack Sports.
Yeah, guys, definitely take advantage of that. Get involved in the giveaway as well, but always keep an eye out. Also, they do a ton of odds boost and promotions. But like you said, AC, best book on Twitter. So make sure you guys get hooked up with Seven Stacks. And as you guys can see here, follow them on Twitter at Seven Stack Sports. But AC, let's get into it, because we missed a day yesterday, obviously, but it was a pretty entertaining slate overall. Now, tonight's slate's a little bit smaller, obviously, than it was yesterday, but I don't know about you. I only had action in one game, and I actually hopped in it live on the Kings, but we'll get to that game because I know you and I were pretty upset.
Don't bring that up. Don't bring up the Kings. For me personally, nightmares. Yeah, for me personally, I had 3 plays. So I started the day hot, right? I was on the Cavs. It was plus 5.5. They covered by 0.5. And then I was on the Pacers plus 1.5. They killed the Bulls in Chicago. So those were really 2 good wins. Started feeling myself. So I was like, okay, it's a Kings play tonight. It's a new coach with Alvin Gentry. They just fired Luke Walton. Kings were rolling heading into the fourth quarter. They ended up only scoring 12 points. They lost that fourth quarter 25-12, and they lost the game by 8 points. It's just the Kings, man. The Kings have been really bad to me, Dead.
I'm with you there, AC. I mean, I said the T-Wolves. I think my new team is the Kings. I think I'm like 0 for 4 betting on them this season. But I was with you. I mean, kind of a good spot for them with, as you mentioned, the new head coach and rough performance from them. Just seemed like no heart. I mean, I put out a tweet. The Sixers didn't have one of their 5 starters from last season, 4 of their 5 this year, because Maxey obviously takes the place of Simmons. But I mean, no Embiid, no Green, no Tobias, no Seth, like no one. It was our C squad out there, and they took care of business. But let's get to a couple other games. We won't go over all of them, but let's go over a few of the big ones. The Hornets and Wizards, AC. I know you and I are both big LaMelo Ball guys. Who's not? But pretty impressive road win for the Hornets, who all of a sudden they've been streaky this year because, I remember we were going over them when they were on that cold streak. Now they're heating up again, 11-8, but a big-time performance from LaMelo, 28 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists. And then Terry Rozier with a 32-point performance. What was your thoughts on this game?
Scary Terry. All the blame, 110% goes to Kyle Kuzma and his fit before the game. Everybody saw it. I posted his amazing pink sweater. It looked like it could fit like 4 people inside. They were 4.5-point home favorites, and they lost outright to the Hornets. So all the blame goes to Kuzma. I mean, 109-103, that's a pretty good, in terms of 2021, that's pretty good offense. Like, we've seen some really low totals at 212. That's a pretty good number. But you're right. Scary Terry was on fire in that second half, 32 points. this was a Terry Rozier that the Hornets thought they were getting when they signed him from Boston. So it's nice to see him kind of produce like this. But again, the blame to me goes to Kyle Kuzma, man. That's your boy. Tell your boy, man.
That is my guy. He's won me a few bets this year, but they did like the money on his outfit too, and it was like 20,000. It was like absurd. You know how much that stuff costs, and it wasn't the best look. But yeah, impressive win. LaMelo continues to do his thing. Like we said, AC Hornets are going to be an interesting team when the time comes. Can they get into the playoffs? We know that there's that expansion again. They're doing the same thing as they did last season. So fun young team to watch for sure. But let's talk about the Hawks. You and I, we've been calling this for the last couple of weeks. Good time to start back in the Hawks. Mm-hmm. And it's showing. We mentioned that they started the season playing the toughest schedule in the NBA. Last night, they did not cover our Thunder again. They always cover
without Shea. Without Shea last night.
Without Shea. You have any thoughts on this game? Big game from Trae Young, 30-point game. Seems like he's kind of getting back to form. Josh Giddey was really solid for Oklahoma City. He's been a stat sheet shelf for 15 points, 7 boards, 8 assists. He's been great coming over from the NBL. But what were your thoughts on this game? I don't know if you had anything in this.
No, quick shout out to your boy Josh Giddey. I was watching a couple of his games, and he's a solid player. I mean, he's not overly athletic, but he sees the floor extremely well, so he can run that pick and roll all day. And then on the fast break, it seems like he always makes the right pass. So Josh Giddey is definitely, high basketball IQ, definitely going to have a great career in the NBA. Usually when it comes to the Hawks, are they on the road or are they at home? If they're at home, then you almost kind of lean them blindly. But if you look more into this game, Shea Gilgeous out. You and I both hate the star player being injured out angle. For some reason, that team always covers in the NBA, and it doesn't change here. I mean, you're right, though. The Hawks are starting to roll. They're now 9-9, 500 after a slow start. So continue to look for their spots. Again, I don't like them on the road, but if they're playing in Atlanta, definitely look into Hawks place.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like now is a good time. But like I said, they did not get that cover last night. But nonetheless, still an impressive performance at home. All right, AC, Pacers and Bulls. All I was thinking yesterday when I was betting this game was you in my head screaming, it's a Pacers screamer. Man. So what were your thoughts? I know you and I ended up, I believe you took them as well. I don't know if you took them for VIP or personally, but the Pacers there, just a blowout game of the Bulls. We mentioned Caruso being out. Didn't seem like that's like a huge injury, but it is for this team, right? He's a big-time player for them. They didn't have Javonte Green, or they did have Javonte Green. Sorry, he did come in off the bench, but no Vucevic as well for them still. What were your thoughts on this? I mean, this was just a beatdown by the Pacers.
Man, give Alex Caruso the MVP now. Like, without him, they lose. With him, they're the best team in the NBA, basically. But no, this was you're right. This was a Pacers screamer, and you know how much I love Brogdon. We both love Brogdon. But on the road, only getting 1.5 points against arguably the hottest team in the NBA, that was a screamer for Indianapolis. It was a VIP and a personal play, so that was nice. I like the Pacers, man. When they have Brogdon, LeVert, Sabonis, and Turner is always solid. They're above average front court, and then Rick Carlisle is not gonna get out coached very often. So. It's going to be a good team to back. It's one of those, mid-market teams that nobody talks about, but the Pacers are going to be covering a lot all season long.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. When Brogdon is in that lineup, when they're fully healthy, I think they're a playoff caliber team. I mean, we saw them last year, another team that was in that, playoff play-in style. But this is a very capable team, and I am a Carlisle fan as well. I thought they did a good job upgrading the coaching. T-Wolves, Pelicans, AC. T-Wolves are finding their footing again, right? They jumped out to that hot start with a really good start to the season. All of a sudden, T-Wolves, they have won 4 games in a row. They'll be tested Wednesday night against Miami to see if they can continue this win streak. But was this another play that you were like, why are the Pelicans +3?
We had the same question last week on the Pelicans, and they ended up winning and blowing the other team out, which was insane. But yeah, this was actually a Pelicans play or Pelicans read again. It was not an official play for anybody, but impressive win by Minnesota. Just looking at their stats here, holding the Pelicans to 96 points is legit. Karl Anthony Towns, another double-double, 28 and 10. And you and I both know the Timberwolves are very, very talented. It comes down to if they can close games out. If they can close games, if it's going to be Towns or Edwards or someone, maybe a D'Angelo Towns pick and roll is their bread and butter in the fourth quarter. I don't know. They just need to find that closing play and then just milk the fourth quarter, and they'll be a legit team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is a team I want to see make noise because, like you said, they're a fun group. I'm a big Anthony Edwards fan as well. Cat, he's an easy guy to root for. We know he's had a lot to deal with in the last year or so. So, excuse me, but this is a fun team to analyze and watch. All right, AC, the Suns. I feel like we're not talking about the Suns enough. They're 14-3 at this current stage. Maybe to be expected, but not this good. They didn't cover again, though. Another really tight spread that the Suns do not cover. But, I mean, this team is playing lights-out basketball. In the month of November, the Suns, they have not taken an L. I mean, this team is just ungodly good at the moment. What's up with them and their performance again here? I know the Spurs aren't a great team, but the Spurs seem to stick in basketball games. I think I've said this before to you. It's like they have 10 guys who play the same position. They're just not diverse enough. But what's your thoughts on this Suns team? I mean, we know that, look, they made it to the finals last year. Kind of looked like they might, end up winning the finals, jumped out to a quick lead. What's your thoughts on this Phoenix Suns team?
I was not on this game, but pour one out to the Suns backers last night. They were dominating this game, literally 95% of it, and the Spurs went on a crazy run at the end to only lose by 4. They were never they were never going to win the game, but they outscored the Suns, I think, by 18 points in the last 6 minutes to get this cover. So I mean, that's a brutal beat for Suns backers. But you're right, this team looks good. Like I thought they were going to take a step back, honestly, because, they made it to the finals and then, Chris Paul's a lot older. So I thought they would kind of take the regular season easy, but no, like they've seen so many guys improve. Mikal Bridges to Cameron Johnson, Devin Booker is still good. Ayton's still good, but those other two guys have really taken the step forward. I think Mikal Bridges potentially could get max money. So, I mean, like the Suns are rolling. I think they're gonna continue to roll. They could be the new Utah Jazz, the regular season team.
Yeah, I mean, they're just a tough team to fade at any point. But I mean, even the 14-3 kind of caught me for a little bit of a loop because I don't think they're getting that love right now that maybe they deserve. All right, AC, we'll get to a couple more games for tonight, and then we'll hop into the short slate for tonight. We'll also take any questions, guys, that you guys do have. I'm going to tweet that out in a minute, see if anyone wants to kind of engage in the live stream with the questions. I did forget to tweet it out prior, but we would love to, address any questions or props or anything you guys have questions with as well. But pretty crazy game last night. AC in Utah. Memphis was another line that just didn't make sense to me, and that's why I stayed away. I thought 11's a lot for Memphis. Like, they're a gritty team. They play hard every quarter, every possession. That's just how they're wired as a team. But how about that late sequence? Jaren Jackson Jr. hits the dagger. What were your thoughts on this game? Because I was really impressed with this road win by Memphis.
Super impressive. I mean, 11-point road underdogs. They come into, one of the most hostile environments, one of the best home court advantages in the NBA. And not only did they cover, but they had a last-second 3 to win. We both tweeted it out, Jaren Jackson Jr. jump ball with like 10 seconds left. He won the tip. Ja Morant got it. Ja Morant, got into the lane. It looked like maybe his feet came down. It kind of maybe looked like an up and down there, but he got it off, and Jaren Jackson hit a huge, 25-footer free throw line extended 3-pointer that put them up by 1. That's a very, very impressive win. Honestly, I think the biggest angle that people are missing with the Grizzlies is their defense is not very good. They have a very bad defensive rating, so definitely look into Grizzlies overs moving forward until the books adjust, of course.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. This is super impressive. When the thing with the Grizzlies, it's just kind of like they play that way every single night. They just have young guys who are hungry, ready to go. Maybe the moments aren't too big for them because they're not aware of it yet. But that was a very clutch play and late sequence in that game. But I was mad at myself for staying off the Grizzlies there. Unfortunately, ended up being a pretty easy play for Grizzly backers. All right, AC, the final game of the night before we get into tonight's slate. I'm sorry we have to do this, but the Kings and the Sixers. I'm a Philly guy, but this was the only game. The slate last night I laid off in NBA. I did jump in live on the Kings at -4 in the first half, and they were down a little bit. I thought they were running away with it late third quarter, early fourth.
They were.
And
they were.
Then just a collapse. I mean, you and I, we were exchanging some texts about this game, obviously, but just a horrendous showing by the Kings at home. And I put this out in a tweet. They were missing the Sixers, 4 of their 5 starters from this season and 5 of their 5 starters from last season. I mean, this was a C-team effort by Philly, and they beat the Kings at home. What were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, Sacramento is in trouble, man. It's not coaching, obviously, because they fired Luke Walton. They brought in Alvin Gentry, who, I don't think is a great coach in himself, but the players just gotta be more accountable, man. To be honest, they are. When you look at that lineup without Joel, Tobias, obviously no Ben, no Seth, no Danny Green, Maxey was doing anything he wanted. Shake Milton was on fire in that fourth. It was just, you just gotta play better than the guy in front of you. I mean, you have some really good talent there, and I think Halliburton, Rashawn Holmes pick and roll is one of the plays in the NBA that nobody talks about, but it's very, very effective. De'Aaron Fox is super athletic and is very, very effective when he's in the fast break. So get out and run. And then you have Harrison Barnes, who's always solid. Mo Harkless, I don't know. He doesn't really do much for me. And Tristan Thompson obviously doesn't do much for me either. But they should have won that game. They should have won money line at least. The fact that they lost the game outright is an indictment of, their team. They can't really close games out in the fourth. This is not the first time I've lost with the Kings in the fourth quarter. They do it all the time. A lot of it comes from, lack of free throw shooting, right? You talked about this, the rule changes kind of hurt De'Aaron Fox. But even when he gets to the line, he's 1 for 2 anyways. And then, I don't know, not Tristan Thompson, Andre Drummond was getting every offensive rebound for Philadelphia. So if that happens once or twice, at least box the guy out and have someone else crash the boards. I mean, this is fundamental basketball. They failed. I lost money. I'm still mad about it. Let's move on to the next game, Dad.
Yes, let's just get into tonight's slate, AC. So it is a short slate. We currently only have 4 games right now, and I only have a line for that one did just, for some reason, I don't know about you, but I don't have a line in front of me on the Heat Pistons, but I do have one on some of the other apps. It's at -10. But small slate for sure. A couple TNT games tonight. But we have enough to get into on this one. But let's reset the room real quick, AC, before we get into tonight's slate. We just want to thank our friends at 7 Stack Sports for sponsoring us again. Best Twitter book, 24/7 customer service, guys. Take your money out any way you want. Crypto is also an option for you. Follow them on Twitter at 7 Stack Sports in the midst of a $2,000 giveaway as well. So make sure y'all hop on that. AC and I continuously will be pumping that up this week, but they're giving back. They have some fun stuff going on as well for Thanksgiving that you guys can get involved with. So make sure you follow them on Twitter at 7 Stack Sports. But AC, let's get into the slate tonight.
Dead Prez. I don't know if you saw this, but we got announced that we are the most NBA watch show on Twitter. We're averaging over 5,000 views each episode. So definitely, great appreciation to everyone. Big thank you, big ups to everybody who's, watching right now, who's watched in the past. Thank you. Continue to support us, continue to retweet this video out. We hope to grow this and, bring a lot of you guys on with us. Sorry, go ahead, Dad.
No, we do appreciate that. Great points, obviously, as well, AC. But let's get into this big game tonight because I know this is one a lot of people will be throwing their money on, the Lakers and the Knicks. Both of these teams, I would say, have had disappointing starts to a degree. They're both about 500. Lakers at 9-9. Knicks quietly disappointing to me, 9-8 on the season, but they're heavy favorites tonight. We know about the LeBron news, obviously being suspended. On the injury report, I see AD also day to day. You never know. He's always kind of a last second call for the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson. See right here, he's ruled out, but I don't know if that's official. Derrick Rose and Taj Gibson, questionable. What's your thoughts on this one tonight in New York?
I think Mitchell Robinson is out with a concussion today. I'm pretty sure D Rose will play. But as far as tonight, I mean, the Lakers are not a good team, guys. Like, at the end of the day, I know they have a lot of star power, but that team doesn't really fit with each other. They have a minus 3.56 point differential, giving up over 113 points on defense. That is terrible, especially in this league in 2021 when scoring has taken a huge drop. They're only 2-4 against the spread on the road. They're going to be on the road again tonight in Madison Square Garden. MSG is actually where, LeBron would like to show out, but no LeBron tonight. I mean, the Knicks are going to be a hard team to back. 7 points is a lot for a team that doesn't play defense, but there's no defense on the other end as well. So if the Knicks hit their threes and they only hit 7 in their previous game against the Bulls, regression should be, that it's going to be in the teens, maybe, high teens tonight. If they hit their threes, they're going to blow out the Lakers. So to me, it's a Knicks play or nothing at all.
Yeah, this is one I think we're a little bit opposite in. I've had success backing the Lakers without LeBron, funny enough. So without LeBron this year, I'm 4-0 on the Lakers. With LeBron, I'm 0-3. So they've been very streaky to me. Not that I'm one of those people who thinks they're better without LeBron, but I think the books adjust a little bit too much without him. If AD goes, I still think, 7's a lot, kind of what you alluded to, AC. I don't think the Knicks are defensively good enough to lay 7 with. I think the Lakers have shown, getting some guys back. Horton Tucker, some other guys have gotten back into this lineup, giving them a little bit more.
Horton Tucker's a baller, man. He's a baller.
He can go out and do his thing. That was a big guy that kind of gets swept under the rug that they were able to bring back from the injury news. I didn't think Russ was a good fit then. I really don't now. But I think when Russ and LeBron are on the floor together, it's too congested. Russ without LeBron does get a little more room, a little bit more ball in his hand. So I've had success backing them, like I said, without Brown, funny enough, this year. I'm going to do it again tonight. I do think 7 is far too many for the Knicks. This is also assuming, obviously, that Anthony Davis does play. We're recording this at 2 o'clock on the East Coast, so a lot can change between then and now. All right, AC, let's get to a Western Conference affair between the Nuggets and the Blazers. Blazers, they have been lights out at home this season. Now, they come into this one again tonight. Pretty heavy favorites here at -6.5, over under 214.5. Do you think 6.5 is too many points to give the Nuggets in this spot tonight?
This one's tough. This is, I believe, a rematch from a couple weeks ago. They're both sitting at 9-8. They have identical records: 9-8 overall, 7-10 against the spread. Their offense is scoring a little bit more than their defense. Portland offense is a little more high end. They score almost 110 points a game. Portland is terrible on the road. They're 1-7 on the road, but they are a very good home team. They've covered the spread 6 times out of 9 at home, and I think they're going to cover again tonight. I know it's a lot of points, but Dame is playing so much better. I think the team is starting to come around. It's going to be a public play tonight, but I think it's going to be chalk for this game. I like the Blazers at 6.5. The Nuggets, the Nuggets are a very gritty team themselves. Like, they've dealt with injuries all year long. They've dealt with the Jokic suspension and all that. But honestly, no Michael Porter Jr. Most likely, I've heard rumors he could be out for the entire year. This is a back injury that has been, plaguing him since high school. So his back is hurt again. Will Barton is playing, and it's kind of a revenge game. He used to be a Portland Trailblazer himself. But if there's no Jokic, he is currently questionable, again, dead. We're recording this at 2 o'clock. But if he's a no, there's no way I can back the Nuggets. I like the Blazers tonight. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you here. And another injury that the Nuggets you've mentioned, they have just been injury plagued this year. AC also Bones Highland is out for them. That's another killer for them. I mean, if you watch a lot of Nuggets game, I mean, this kid has come on the scene and he's just been a spark plug for them, offensively and defensively. I loved him coming out of college, and he's been great so far this season. So yeah, injuries have been a killer. Remember, Denver kind of embarrassed Portland too a couple weeks ago when they played in Denver. So revenge should be on the minds of Dame and company tonight. All right, AC, let's get to another game here between the Miami Heat and sorry, I just lost it for a second.
And the Pistons. Yeah, I could set the stage on this game.
Yeah,
So Miami is favored by 9 on the road in Detroit. Obviously, the previous game in Detroit was that big, scuffle with LeBron and Isaiah Stewart. And props to Cade Cunningham, by the way, for having his teammates back. This is a lot of points. I don't know if I have a play on the side or the total here, but I'll just go ahead and give you guys a free play on the player props. Speaking of Cade Cunningham, he's playing so much better as of late. He started off super cold, especially from 3, but the number 1 overall pick is getting a lot better, and he's becoming a leader on that team. So I think Jeremy Grant is still option number 1 on offense, but I think everything else goes through Cade. So, passing, rebounding, and scoring. I like Cade over 27.5 tonight on points, rebounds, and assists. That's going to be a free play. I posted it on a video earlier. But as far as points dead, no side or no total for me.
Yeah, I like that play a lot, AC. This is another one I am staying far, far away from tonight. I think it's a tough spot. I mean, realistically, I think you and I bet similar in the NBA. I want to say Pistons really, really bad, but I can't do it. I cannot back this Piston team by any means. And then the last one, AC, for tonight, to get into the final game of the night, the Mavericks, your Mavericks, right, against the Clippers. This is a question mark. Is this line now down to 4.5 now? I did see some news like an hour ago that there was possibly some COVID protocol surrounding the Clippers. They had to actually shut down their morning shoot around due to some safety protocols. Assuming it's COVID, they ruled it health and safety protocols. So in today's world, that's what we'll assume. Line did drop a point. What's your thoughts on this game?
This is tough. They just played Sunday night, and the Clippers, the Mavs were actually down. The Mavs are actually up for the majority of the game. The Clippers ended very strong and actually covered the 4.5 points. I think they won by 5, which is a miraculous cover there. One guy that's coming back for the Mavericks tonight, no, not Luka. I think he's still questionable, but Maxi Kleber. Maxi Kleber actually does a lot for this team. Good outside shooter as well as a good defender. So he can be someone that, helps out with Zubac or someone like that on the inside. Frankie Smokes is out and Luka is still questionable. On the other side, Kawhi, Jason Preston, they're still out. Batum is still out. But PG is balling. Marcus Morris is supposed to return tonight. This one's tough for me. It's in LA. The Mavs, the line to me, man, suggests like Luka is playing. So give me the Mavs tonight at +4. I think the value there is with the Mavericks. The Clippers, again, just played them on Sunday, and I think they had a great cover. So I think, regression here. Give me the Mavericks.
Yeah, this is what I'm with you. Based on the line, AC, I'm going to assume that Luka Doncic is in. If he goes, I'm going to be backing the Mavericks on the road, which is absolutely terrifying. But if he doesn't and this thing budges up to like 6 or 7, I will probably take the heavier favorite in the Clippers. But it's a tough one right now, recording so early on, to know about that. But I think, AC, we hit all the games for tonight. We do, again, want to thank our friends at 7 Stack Sportsbook. Make sure y'all are following them, taking advantage of these great giveaways that they're doing. They're doing a bunch right now, AC. Probably a little odds boost fun, too, for Thanksgiving. We will be back tomorrow, correct? So we will have one more episode before the Thanksgiving holiday. But, again, guys, follow them on Twitter at 7Stack Sports. AC, anything to add before we close shop here?
No, I think we'll be back tomorrow. But if you can't catch us tomorrow, I guess we wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Spend time with your friends and family. Don't get too crazy. No drunk driving, none of that. But have a ton of fun. Enjoy the games tonight, everybody.
All right. Thank you, guys.